Good morning, grade 8s and 9s. So today we're just going to be doing a bit of revision around calculating distance on a map. So for grade 8s, this is really the first time you're doing it other than in class recently. And then for grade 9s, we're doing a bit of revision from term 1 and 2 of last year. So don't worry if you're finding it a bit tricky or it's not coming back to you. That's the purpose of this video, just to go through it again with you. So it's always important to remember that we use the 3 steps from your notes. So if you go for grade 9s, our notes on page 33 for you. Grade 8s, you'll just need to double check. But we've got the 3 steps. And step 1 is we measure the distance in centimeters between the 2 points asked in the question. Okay, so that means if we go down to look at the question that's over here, and it says, using the map below, calculate the distance in kilometers between the school in Greenhaven and the church in De Heuvel. So this is often the first hard thing we need to do in Mapwork, is finding the symbols that's being asked. So if you remember from your notes, a school is represented by an S. Okay, so if we look for Greenhaven, we can see that we've got Greenhaven here, and as we start looking around for a school, we can find over here we've got the school. So now we need to look for the church in De Heuvel. So we look to the east of the Groot Brakkelrivier, which is this river going down. We can see the river going here all the way up, and if you look, we can see that this is the Groot Brakkelrivier, and the town itself is actually called Groot Brakkelrivier. It's a town in the Western Cape of South Africa. So we look for De Heuvel and we can see that it's on the east of the river, and now we're looking for a church. And if you use the key at the bottom of a topographic map, and in your tests there will always be a key at the bottom, and also you should be studying the symbols, but we know that a symbol for a church is a K, so that's over here. So you can see that we are trying to calculate the distance from this school to this church over here. So this is when we get our ruler out, and you can see I've got a bit of a funky ruler here, but we always want to start at 0. So on this ruler, 0 is actually in the middle of the ruler over here, and then it goes up to 16 that way and up to 16 that way. So we always want to move the 0 to where we're measuring from, and that's going to be over here. And again, always remember when we're measuring in distance, you want to put the 0 in line with the middle of the symbol. So you can see that I've put it in the middle of this black building, which represents the school. And then we line our ruler up to make sure that it intersects with the church in De Heuvel. So we're going from here all the way to there, the church. And we can see that that is 5, what? So let's count how many lines we've got from 5 to 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. So each line is another 0.1 centimeters. So that means it is 5.2 centimeters from the school to the church. So let's write that down here. We've done, I don't like that, we've done step 1. Okay? And we can see step 1 was 5.2 centimeters. But that's obviously not our answer. That's just step 1. We can see from the map that there's no way that in real life it's 5.2 centimeters. So let's go back up and have a look at step 2. We can see that step 2 is multiply this measured distance by the scale of the map. So now we need to pause and say to ourselves, well, what is the scale of this map? And this is where your studying should come into handy, because every topographic map we give you is always going to have the same scale. And the topographic map scale is 1 is to 50,000, meaning that 1 centimeter on the map is equal to 50,000 centimeters in real life. So For step 2, multiply this measured distance by the scale means we need to, for step 2, say 5.2 multiplied by 50,000. So I want you to all take your calculators out now and do that. All right? You can't just be following. You actually need to have your book open in front of you, taking notes, and your calculator so you can be following with me. So if you take 5.2 and times it by 50,000, you are going to get 260,000 centimeters. Okay, in geography we always write down our units. 260,000 what? Is it 260,000 bananas, washing machines, Olympic swimming pools? No, it's centimeters. So now we've got our answer in centimeters in real life. From the school in Greenhaven to the church in De Heerville, we know it's 260,000 centimeters, which is not very helpful if you're in a car. We need it to be in a unit that we know and will make sense to us. So that's where step 3 comes into play. We see that we need to convert this answer into the required unit. And this is where the conversion scale is so important. Because we are going from centimeters to kilometers. And we know there are 100 meters in a centimeter, 100 centimeters in a meter, and 1,000 meters in a kilometer. Meaning that we need to divide our answer by 100 and then divide it by 1,000 for us to get to kilometers. So this is really why you need to be bringing your calculators to class to make sure that you don't make any silly mistakes at this important step. So we take step 3, and we need to take our answer that we got in step 2, and we need to divide it by 100 and then 1,000. So you can actually just combine that. We combine the 100 and the 1,000 to get 100,000. So instead of dividing it twice, we just divide it once. So we say 260,000 divided by 100,000. And that is going to give us what? I want you to take out your calculators and use it, or for those who are feeling confident, you don't have to use your calculator because you can arrive at your own way. But you should be getting 2.6 kilometers. And again, you always use your units. Okay, and that is our answer. Grade 8s and 9s, 2.6 kilometers. All right, I hope this helped. As you can see, a lot of work goes into this, so it's important for you to study this incredibly well because you get many marks from this. This entire process you would have gotten 3 marks. You would get mark for step 1 by measuring the correct distance in centimeters. We then give you a mark for step 2 that you multiplied it by the scale, and then we give you a mark for step 3 when you convert it to the required unit. So you can be getting 3 marks out of a 75 or a 50 mark paper. Remember, term 1, your tests are out of 50 marks, and in June, term 2, your exams are out of 75. So that is a lot of marks. 3 out of 50 equals 6%. Maybe we'll ask 2 questions, so that's up to 12% of your test coming out from just this question alone. I hope it helped. Make sure to study and redo the activities. You can see there's lots of maths here, and the best way to consolidate and understand your map work and your math work is practice, practice, practice. All right, hope this helped grade 8s and 9s. Make sure to comment if you have any questions, and as a treat for those who watch, the first person to comment on Teams under this video, I love geography, will be getting a 50 Rand tuck shop voucher. So that's just a test to see who's watched all the way to the end. Okay, Good luck for your upcoming test, grade 8s and 9s.